going on? YouTube world, Michael, Steve. At some point, Vincenzo, he's talking, I think, with somebody. I don't know. What do you say? Dave Stewart, Ricky Henderson, Eckersley, Rick Honeycutt. Somebody from Oakland. I don't know what the hell that means, but I don't know. I didn't even know he's out in California. So,
nice try, Dave.
So he'll be on at some point.
Let's just say college scout. Kind of. Although it's a little soon for college scouts, but
never hurts to.
It's still of that caliber, of that ilk, in the words of Dave.
Almost like a Mel Kiper, I'd say. See, exactly. You're trying to think of somebody else and you can't. Todd McShay, no. Mel Kiper, he's the gold standard. So the gold standard
says absolutely nobody.
So yeah, tonight we'll chat a little bit about our 4th of July weekends.
Yeah, we already know how yours went, Dave. It sucked.
I mean, Saturday afternoon, Sunday was good, but Friday was absolutely fucking abysmal.
Okay, so for the most part, yours sucked. How's that? Is that better?
The actual holiday. But we'll talk about the reality, possibility. Again, I know it's just a lot of chatter, but you see it more and more. And it's the Fighting Bob's Major League team. All actuality, if Skenes does move, it'd be absolutely one of the dumbest things ever. But it's the Pirates, so I mean, there's always the Jim Carrey, the 1 in a million. So you're saying there's a chance? Yes.
I was going to say it's Pittsburgh. Need we say more?
And
well, what did I see recently? Was it basically O'Neal Cruz basically like mailing it in?
And yeah, like past him and he just stopped, just watched it. Like, that makes sense.
Not running it out to first base. Like he's pretty much like literally like just mailed it in.
Well, man, he's playing. I think he's playing outfield where he's been playing shortstop pretty much the whole time. Out of position, and it's not like you've got A-Rod coming up at short. And I mean, he's not old either, so I don't know. He's got a good arm, but I think this would be one if he's in right field, like Vlad was, where again there's going to be growing pains, but he's got a cannon for an arm.
Yes, but he's a professional athlete. He's being played. He's being paid to play a sport. Like, don't be a douche. You want to basically like end your career by the mannerisms and the actions that you're doing because you're disappointed for whatever reason. Talk about potentially ending your career.
Well, I don't think he'd end it. There's been other Pirates of recent years that have ended their careers quicker with more
egregious sort of things, which I get, but at the same time, it's
talented. It's not a path of success.
I mean, he's talented. He's still young. You know, he's got a lot of potential years ahead of him. But you keep doing that, even if you're wanting out of Pittsburgh for whatever reason. If I'm another team, do I want to take that chance of picking up part of a salary or, you know, trading somebody from the farm system, so on and so forth, to run the risk of him doing the same shit for my team? I don't know if I'd be willing to take that risk. So, I don't know. I think he'll be gone before Skenes is, if you ask me. Just because of the laissez-faire mentality and the all-out, I don't give a fuck. Call me crazy. But we'll see. And of course, Michael's already said he's going to be fairly quiet this episode, so I'm going to have to figure out something to say for Dave to come back. I'm sure he's getting food.
Yeah.
Pull the pizza out.
Personally, if I were Pittsburgh, I would trade Skenes right now.
You'd get the most for him.
You're going to get the best haul you could ever imagine for a pitcher.
Yep.
And the owner, he couldn't give a shit less what the fans think of him. So the blowback is going to be what it is. But you can land an absolute mountain of talent for him. Because Pittsburgh, they're not even trending in a good direction. They don't have much coming up the pipeline. They just don't. They're not. And let's be honest, they haven't had a player that they've developed since McCutchen that lasted.
It's probably fair.
Because everybody else they either traded or they got to the big leagues and just
right.
Because I mean Gregory Polanco was going to be a monster, and it did not happen. And Austin Meadows didn't work out there.
O'Neal Cruz,
Garrett Cole, gone.
They get him out of there before he does well. Or Raiders, he's doing well. Shane Baz developed in Tampa and is a serviceable middle of the rotation pitcher. I mean, they kept Brian Hayes. That's the guy I think they trade. Who was supposed to be big numbers. But that was the thing. It's like, okay, you can hit for power. I'm like, Charlie Hayes, his old man, never hit for, more than 15 home runs, maybe 20?
Right, and that's what Hayes was expected to be, a 300 hitter with 15 to 20 homer power. But he was going to be a solid stick. Well, he doesn't hit for average or power. The Pirates managed to strike out on the Major League Baseball's kids, where everybody else seems to be very successful.
Yeah, they can't.
Brian Hayes was the one that didn't work.
No, and
I think his kids didn't work either.
Do what?
Clemens' kids didn't do well either. Was it Kobe or Colby or?
Yeah, there were 2 or 3 of them that were solid or thought to be solid players that didn't go anywhere. Biggio's kid really didn't do anything either, Kevin.
No. He had the one okay, I think the first half year or whatever he came up, and then he was expected to do well and then just sort of plateaued and bottomed out.
Mm-hmm. But Vladdy's been a stud. And
with Bobby Witt.
Tatis. Jr. Oh, yeah, I love Bobby Witt. That guy's great.
Jackson Holiday's starting to find his footing.
Yep.
And then the Holiday's got his brother, Matt Holiday's other kid, I think, is at the club.
Yeah, he's about ready to be taken in the top 5.
Yeah.
Likely top 3.
If he gets past the third, Rockies at 4 are going to be stumbling over themselves to get the pick up there to get in. Which, again, they'll fuck them up, too. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the Rockies just...
They can't get in their own way. That's a team that'll never a beautiful stadium, cool jerseys, a little bit of a lineage with the what was I'm
Blake
trying to
Street
remember
Bombers.
with Blake Street. I was like, it's not the Bronx Street.
Yep, Blake Street.
Yeah, it's the Pelton, Galarraga. I mean, you had Larry Walker. You had a solid forward.
Yeah. And then, obviously, Tulo was very good there.
Yep.
Arenado. But they never had pitching. I shouldn't say never. Ubaldo Jimenez. He had that stretch.
David Need.
Oh, oof.
When you sign Mike Hampton and Denny Nagel,
yeah.
And it's just like
those were both.
I understand what you're trying, but you know what the outcome's going to be, right? I mean, because you spent a lot of money on these guys doesn't mean all of a sudden they become good. And yeah, they're going to a 4.5, 5.5 ERA and a good year with those guys.
Mm-hmm. That was the Denny Nagel contract hurt them really bad.
No, and that never really gets brought up as one of the worst because I think you have some like guys just like really eclipsing the total amount these days. I think it was like a 6 or 7 year, $130, $140 million, which looks like a bargain now. But then
they're giving contracts like that to number 5s or guys you're hoping are going to be a number 5, but they're kind of a number 7.
Their career AA player, and they're getting that after a 5-4 record with like a 4 ERA. Like, I gotta lock him up. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hoping for a step up.
Did you read there was an article on ESPN talking about potential trade hauls for Skenes and everything, and I'm like, man, if you could convince Detroit to give up that package, you make that deal right now. And truthfully, if you're Detroit, you make the deal too. Because if you have Skenes and Skubal on the same team, and they're having such a great year already, and not giving up any major league guys except for Jackson Jobe, who's out with Tommy John.
Yeah, which again, their system is decent enough where they can withstand that. And again, if you get Skenes, this isn't like a 32-year-old Rento. This is somebody that can grow with this progression team.
And he fits the mold of the Verlanders and guys like that are big, sturdy guys.
Yep. Nothing 5'11", 190, just flailing and whipping the ball in there. It's like that guy's going to fall apart.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to bring. You watch Skenes pitch, you watch Skubal pitch, and you watch the stud kid in Milwaukee, Mizorowski. Mizorowski scares me when he's throwing. It's like I've seen this before. I've seen this with so many guys that come up and just they fall off because they're throwing so hard and they're whipping that arm around, and it's fun to watch because they're throwing over 100 miles an hour and have nasty breaking balls. But that 97, 98 mile an hour slider is what ends people's seasons because the elbow just blows up.
To a degree, I agree, Jeff, but if you have any World Series aspirations, you're going to have to give up those type of players to get the type of pitcher you guys need. Because I like Mize, but again, I'm not 100% sold on him yet. Said Joe, he's done. I don't even know if Matt Manning is whatever Manning, if he's still even around. That was a guy that was a big prospector, a high draft pick a few years ago too. It's like I get where And again, if this was any other organization that had a GM and owner that was smart, it would be like the Lucas stuff. Like, I'm just talking with you and secretly being like, I am fielding calls without saying I'm fielding calls to get offers. Like, who's going to send me what? Dodgers, what are you going to try to? It's not going to be the Yankees because they don't have the farm system. Not even close. And you can't even like build it up like they used to with like some of these guys like trade for like the Ruben Rivera's. Like, oh man, he's going to be the next the right-handed Darryl Strawberry or whatever it was. It's like, I'll pick up a Bowman rookie for $5 and I'll see, but I'm like, I'm not going to just start unloading money. So
I
Detroit,
already did.
yeah, because they had what, Detroit, Dodgers, and somebody else. Because I know the Buxton deals were wild. The Royals trading like Cole Reagans and someone else. I'm like,
yeah. I was like, why?
Like, I know the Twins have done stupid shit, but I'm like, are you that would infuriate whatever fan base is left. Like, you know what? Have the team. Contract it. Move it to Montreal. Do whatever you want. Because that would Cole Reagans as I still think he's gonna need some like year long, because you can't sit there and be like, I'm gonna wait a month, hope for the best, and my arm's gonna be good. I dropped him for 2 leagues I had him. So
he's sitting on my it's crazy. My team is James Wood just hit a home run a couple minutes ago, but I have Glass now came back today and he pitched solid. But I had 1, 2, 3 pitchers on the 60-day DL with Schwellenbach and Reagans and Glass now. And Reagan's situation, it's rotator cuff, it's shoulder stuff. You need to go in and fix it, because
waiting around
and letting it, and you're hoping it's going to heal and everything's going to go away, and it might, but it's not going to be 100%, and the elbow is going to end up taking the brunt of that. It's going to compensate, and then
it's like, I'm going to only eat 1 pizza a day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat 2. I'm going to eat 1. Well, you know what? My knees are going to take the brunt of it. My fucking stomach is so goddamn big. It just, and then I look for the updates. I'm like, oh, they're just going to rest. I'm like, well, yeah. I've got enough people trying to rest and rehab out of my pitching staff. Like, I've got Schwellenbach. I dropped Sale because I'm like, there's only 3 spots in ESPN in like traditional leagues.
Yeah,
and I've got Hunter Green in several leagues, and he'll move like a step forward and like 6 back. So I'm like, I don't know if we'll see him again this year. And the only guys I've had, I think, batting wise, Wyatt Langford came off, Chapman, and another league. But it's like, I don't have room for half these people, which sucks. That I think I got 4 guys on the hitting side of one of the benches that, like, Corbin Carroll was sitting there. The Springer's been white hot. O'Neill Cruz was there. Marcus Semien, because he's been hot the last month or so after a real cold start. And someone else was Gunnar Henderson. I mean, it's like 2 picks of my first 2 picks, like Henderson and Carroll, are sitting on my bench just because, again, I'm just trying to play matchups, and it's not working out too well. I should be doing well, and I'm not.
Yep.
Well, I'd like to see that too. I'd like to see Skenes at least get people to the stadium in Pittsburgh, because it looks like a fucking nice stadium. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
But when you have like 33 people in there, I mean, and I'm sure they do come out more so when he's there. But
he has a losing record with a 194 ERA.
Yeah, I mean, how many runs? You don't get any run support.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
So, again, at some point,
he may ultimately dictate his future. He may sit there and be like, okay, I want out. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Or if you want to keep me around, you better do something and get some players in here that are going to score some runs. Spend a few dollars.
Yeah. The owner's going to say, who?
Yeah.
Who's complaining?
Yeah.
I don't know him.
Exactly. And of course, it's extremely hard to cough up cash if the only reason why you fill the stands is because of one player. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't play every day, so you're losing a shit ton of money paying the staff to work.
Yeah, and he may not pitch every homestand. He's not going to pitch every homestand.
Correct.
Yeah, he's
no. McCutcheon's probably this year, next year. That's got to be it for him.
I mean, I thought it was 5 years ago, but people keep giving him money, so I'd still show up too.
Right?
Yeah, and they're still cheering him like,
oh yeah,
like a Clemente or whatever, like back in the day where, like, I remember you from actually the Pirates doing well.
No,
because most of the other guys they don't want to remember from that like 91 type team, 90-91. I know the Mets still remember Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be. Falafel will be traded to. I know the Yankees. They were looking at him.
Don't the Yankees? Yankees look at everybody.
Well, again, they've got to be realistic too. They don't have that, like I said, that deep farm system where.
No.
It used to be like when you could make a trade for somebody in the Marlins, bring up somebody, and Mike Lowell would be one of your guys that you're trading. It's like you don't have that. Again, there's a couple, but I think they've learned their lesson. Not just trading every fucking prospect. That's at the top of their list. They're at the top of their.
Well, they finally realized spending all this money doesn't guarantee winning championships either.
Well, yeah,
like it's more than just having really good players. It's a combination of camaraderie and the right matchups. Like, let's face it. I mean, we're not managerial candidates and going to go manage a Major League Baseball team.
No.
But we've watched enough baseball to understand and realize that it's not just paying a shit ton of money to really good players and hope that that's going to make a damn bit of difference.
No.
Well, look at San Diego. They tried that. Yep. That worked out really well.
They blew that up real quick.
I mean, it worked in LA this past year, but that doesn't. Yeah. It's not a guarantee. But the Dodgers organization as a whole, they built a major team chemistry. Like everything just kind of worked for them. You know what I mean? Like everything just gelled. It happened at the right time. People were getting hot at the right moment. Like everything just fell into place for them.
They just have a lot of stability. Like where the Yankees always have some sort of instability. There's always Stanton's hurt, Judge is hurt. LeMahieu got DFA.
I saw that today.
You got all these other guys that injuries or the pitching hasn't been nearly Stroman, Rodon. I mean, closers, you're picking up Devin Williams from Milwaukee. And this isn't you're picking up Devin Williams 2 years ago.
Right.
You're picking Devin Williams up after stumbling around last year. So that's not a typical Yankees move. You're picking up people at the height of their productivity. The Dodgers, and again with their contracts, are deferring stuff 15 years down the road. So you can put all these pieces together, but I think the only thing they really swung and missed on was Conforto.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else has been that. Again, I say Andy Pages, but I know I think he's a Latin player, so it's obviously different pronunciation of Pages or something. But he's been a godsend because that Outman, who did well last year for them, pretty much regressed back into like a quad player. So, and Dave Roberts is a good manager. I think that's one of those guys where you rarely saw him on call back to a couple shows ago, the baseball tonight. You rarely heard his name. I mean, if we did, it was a key situation. Aaron Boone, I don't know. I like him, but I think he's starting to. If they don't do anything this year, I think this is it for him. I just think they just need
made a coaching career after hitting that grand slam.
Yeah,
I mean, really, he became a Yankee legend that game, and it just kind of carried over into being a manager.
I think he's got to do something. He's got to make a deep run. They don't have the pitching.
No, they don't.
And again, Goldschmidt's sort of tapering off a little. Ben Rice, you haven't heard as much about him. Austin, not Hedges. Their catcher.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Austin, whatever. That he, again, started the season, ball of fire, first at bat, home run. Because I know I had him for fantasy in like a couple deep or a last pick type situation. But it's like everybody's regressed. And again, it's not only them, but when you're in that spotlight, as the Yankees are, as like the Mets are, you're spending that much money, and you're not bringing home World Series trophies. Again, yeah, they went last year, but you're not bringing home the hardware. That becomes problematic pretty quick. So,
yeah, I bet the Padres are just sick over that Soto trade. A 1 year rent, a 1 year rental. Austin Wells. There you go.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, when you got Hassel, Wood, Gore, Abrams, and there's I think another guy in Double-A.
Yeah, I mean they got a core of young, really good players that are playing very well.
And it still cost the GM and the manager their job.
Well, I mean, I don't blame them.
Well, no, if you were about 500 coming in June, and then you were 12 games under, I think, with a record in June. So
yeah,
that doesn't lend itself to keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it goes back to Strasburg. If you don't, the knee-jerk reaction of thinking he's going to be
healthy all of everything that you've known about him, you drafted him, you've had him every step of the way. Why was he suddenly going to be healthy? Because I mean, obviously, when he could play, it's amazing. It's one of the. I mean, watching him pitch was one of the best things.
Mm-hmm.
But you knew it wasn't going to last. You're like, enjoy this while we can, because he's about ready to go on the DL for about 6 to 8 weeks, and then they're just going to shut him down for the season. And then he's going to come back the next spring and play very well. But yeah, they offered him way too much money because it was right after the World Series, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, they won the World Series and then paid him. It's like, oh no. That was as good as it was going to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're paying him for the time he just did. It's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, baseball can be weird like that. Given, 10, 12-year contracts to 31-year-olds. Don't do that. History shows you that hitters aren't going to stay great up into their late 30s, early 40s. It just doesn't happen. They fall off a cliff real quick. Because all it takes is the most minute slowing down of bat speed, and your career is done.
Especially now.
Yeah, because everybody throws 100. Yeah, there was a stat that they talked about yesterday in that Brewers game. You had the starter, Mizorowski, and then you had 3 bullpen arms. So they had 4 pitchers yesterday. The average fastball velocity combined was 99.34 miles an hour between the 4 pitchers. I'm like, good Lord. That's crazy. And Mizorowski, he had 21 of his 91 pitches were a 100 plus. And that's
it. We've talked about it more times than we should, but you go back to, again, Glavine, and then you go to Maddox when pitching was art.
Yes. Change speeds, move the eye level, move it in and out. There aren't too many guys that do that anymore. There's basically none.
I mean, yeah, they're all gone because chicks dig the long ball, now chicks dig the fastball.
I was gonna say I doubt there's a top level pitcher out there right now that fastball velocity is like 92. That's just not a thing anymore.
That's a Cleveland cut. Colby Allred from our first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And they said his average fastball was the lowest in the majors at 90.9. And again, in no way, shape, form, or fashion am I comparing Colby Allred to Greg Maddux, because again,
right.
But I mean, if you cannot have pinpoint accuracy, which again, that takes a lot of the pitching, which again, nobody wants to do because it isn't seen as something as valuable as trying to throw 104, a cutter at 104 or something where, yeah, that's great, but how many of those are you throwing for strikes?
Yeah.
I don't want to see the pitch count of 46 in 2 innings, walking 4 or 5 guys, striking out 3. It's like, yeah, it's cool. But it's like, you need to get the outs. I want the outs. I don't care how it's done. Get the outs. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I don't watch baseball. I can't. It's such a tough pill for me to swallow. I watched some of the World Series, the college with Murray State and Coastal Carolina because I want to see those teams. I'm good with LSU. I've seen enough. At UCLA, I don't need to see anymore. I mean, I want to see different teams. Those are thankfully I got my wish. A couple that you don't expect. So But yeah, it's just like how many of these guys' arms are going to get blown out if they haven't already been? And when you're getting Tommy John at 16, 18 years old, it's like that used to be like late 20s if you're like a big inning eater, early 30s. And now it's you get like a punch card at your local deli. It's like I got Tommy John today. Okay.
Yeah, because it's the injury used to come from just wear and tear over a long period of time, and that's not what's causing the injuries anymore. It's the aggressiveness with which they're throwing the baseball and the arm angles and just not having necessarily great form. Like he said, you've got more throwers than pitchers now, and there are guys who are just going up there and just throwing it as hard as they can and not worrying about mechanics and that violent motion and all the stresses on that elbow.
Yeah.
Which is why, I mean, watching those sliders and everything from Mizrowski, it just reminded me of watching Strasburg and Kerry Wood.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like. Whereas you watch Scooble, who's just got a big body that does not look athletic, but it is very much athletic. And he throws very hard. He throws triple digits. His complete game shutout he threw a couple weeks ago. His last pitch of the game was 102.4. But his other pitch is a changeup. It's not sliders and breaking balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a changeup, and it's very, very effective. And he uses his whole body. That leg kick is impressive. And you don't see very many guys do that anymore either.
No, it's that slide stuff.
Yeah, a lot of them do the slide step, and there's a lot of pitchers who don't throw out of the windup.
No,
they throw out of the set position, and you don't get your whole body involved that way.
No. One of the kids for the Ely team did that. It's like the set and then the slide step, and it was like a broken gate. And I'm like, ooh. Then I talked to the coach after. He's like, I tried to tell him you can be effective and against better competition. And just nobody listened. Well, again.
Yeah, Arroyo did have a crazy leg kick.
Who was it? Wasn't Nomo or some other Japanese pitcher. I know Nomo had one, but somebody else that I don't know, the Japanese camp had like one of the very slow, delayed.
Sasaki did for the
Mets?
Mariners.
Okay.
Wasn't it Kaz Sasaki? He was the closer.
Yeah,
and he had a really solid career there for a while. But yeah, one of the, I think Daisuke had, no, it wasn't Daisuke. Who was that Yankees pitcher? Because he had almost like a pause in the delivery. I can't remember his name though.
Tanaka.
Yes. That was it.
Which, if I'm a pitcher, I'm trying to do something like that where it's almost recentering yourself if you got away from something in the early part of your wind. You have that ability to sort of like quickly pause and somehow correct it.
Mm-hmm.
Just cause deception, not with speed, but with mechanics.
Yeah, because I think he also like double tapped the ball in the glove during the middle of his delivery, which definitely throws off timing of the hitters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that freaking throw me off as being a pitcher, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Everybody has their mannerisms and what works best for them for whatever reason, but
Yeah, but you can get your own timing off a little bit. That ball, you're gonna fall off a little bit. That ball's gonna sail out over the middle of the plate or stay high and get smoked.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes you wonder, since you brought up the high leg kick, the fact that Nolan pitched for as long as what he did.
Yeah.
That was all mechanics and, like you said, leveraging his whole body.
Yeah.
I mean, throwing in the 90s in your 40s is crazy in itself.
Nearly mid-40s. He was 43, 44 years old there at the end.
Exactly. Still throwing in the 90s is crazy when you think about it. But it was all about his technique, the leg kick, using the body. He wasn't fully using his arm.
No.
Like a lot of these younger pitchers are. It's all arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Louis Tiant, I don't know how he did it either. Like Colfax too, I think had one that was sort of like not as egregious as Tiant, but you had the like almost a teeter totter.
Yep. Nomo had the turn as well.
Yeah.
You could read the name and the numbers on the back of his jersey when he was pitching if you're hitting. Lincecum threw like that too.
Yep.
Lincecum had to use his entire body because he weighed nothing.
Right.
There was nothing to that guy.
That was like literally the 4'7", 70-pounder that was playing right field that had to make a throw to third in Little League where it was like playing 500.
Yeah.
You're just raring back and hoping to God that it gets there.
Yep.
Tim for me, Jim.
Yep. Lincecum was one of my favorites. He'll always be one of my favorite players. His run may have been short, but man, it was awesome.
Yep.
And he fit a lot of things into that run. He had no hitters. He had the Cy Young Awards. He had the World Series championships. I mean, he did everything, and it was just in a small window.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because eventually his body broke down.
Mm-hmm.
The Freak.
Yep.
Hell, I still remember Fernando Valenzuela and his funky wind-up.
And the look to the heavens.
Yep.
They had that on YouTube. When was that? They had the Dave Stewart no-hitter and then Valenzuela, the game. So it flipped between like the broadcast because it was the Cardinals versus the Dodgers. I didn't see. I think it was Toronto and Oakland earlier in the day. But I watched that. I'm like, I'll watch some of this. But that was fun baseball, moving along a little quicker. Hearing some names I haven't heard in quite a long time.
Yeah, ages.
Yeah. Valenzuela and his glasses. I mean, just those glasses. Almost like out of the Jeffrey Dahmer collection of that era.
But didn't he pitch forever and a day though too? I mean, he pitched for for what I would consider an extended period of time.
I mean, what was his?
He looked old. He looked old, is what I'm getting at.
Who's that?
But then Valenzuela.
Oh yeah.
Well,
he looked like he was ancient.
But that was like the guy that, again, not to like stereotype or typecast, that's like going to be changing the tires on your car. I mean, that literally, or like somebody that's going to do your taxes. He didn't. Canseco looked like an athlete. McGuire looked like an athlete. Bonds, Bonilla, even like Jay Bell, they look like athletes. You go up and look at Fernando Valenzuela. What the fuck are you doing?
Well,
you cleaning my pool, and I don't know what you're doing. You don't look like an athlete. So I mean, him getting out there and wheeling and dealing. It's like, okay, I stand cool, kid.
I just feel like he pitched forever. It seemed.
I know he at least pitched for 10. Yeah, and that was one too. I don't know what happened, sort of like in the late 80s, because I thought he went away from it, man. I don't know if he had injuries or because he came on strong, and it's probably like 86, 87. I don't remember him in like card sets, and if he was, it wasn't somebody that you were like excited about. Where I know if it was like the early 80s, you were excited because he had Nintendo Mania.
Valenzuela played 17 seasons.
Okay, see, I knew I wasn't.
Holy
crazy.
cow!
Yeah, 1980 to, well, if you want to count the 10 games played in 1980, but from 1980 to 97. Yep.
Yeah, because he was with the Indians, I think, at the end, wasn't he?
Cardinals was the last team he pitched for. 97. Hey. Played for 6 different teams. Dodgers from 1980 to 1990, and then 91 and 92 he played for the Angels. 93 Orioles, 94 Phillies, 95 Padres, 96 Padres, and then 97 Cardinals.
And died at 63.
Yeah, I had actually forgot that he passed away.
Yeah, October of last year.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first things I noticed. I was like, damn, I guess I.
Yeah, I looked at it. I'm like, oh,
I missed that.
He had passed.
Yep, 63. You know, let's face it, 63 is young, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
In the scheme of things. So for anybody who cares, or those that cast votes,
I did.
We got 12 votes, as did I. We got 12 votes this week, 2 short from last poll. And Optic Blaster Box overwhelming at 58%. But since we had Ryan last week and we didn't open anything, I'm actually going to open 2 WNBA hangers too, just for the hell of it, because they've been sitting here forever and a day.
Works for me.
And maybe it'll get me that much closer to the set. Not that I've actually started putting shit in order, but
yeah.
So, well, I'll start opening a little bit later, but I at least wanted to let everybody know where we ended up. Michael, pick a number between 1 through 8.
7.
Dave, pick a number 1 through 7.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I now have pulled the WNBA that will open. I have the one Optic, which is what one. And if I'm being honest, I put the poll up before this showed up. So next week, this will be on the agenda. So the new select. But since I already put the poll out, I didn't want to wipe it out and change it and screw it all up. So select will be on the poll for next week, which I'm sure that's what everybody's going to pick. But I figured.
Yeah. I didn't tell Steve about my trade that I made the other night. I told Dave.
Nope.
Oh, we got more JJ.
Cheap.
So Mike, Vinny was with the better half and C for soccer practice, or soccer goalie training stuff,
Uh-huh.
and they were called back to the location that they were at because of a college scout / college coach had caught a glimpse of C and wanted to chat. So
That's awesome.
That's a nice looking. So he's supposed to be here. At least last we heard. That may change, but that's currently where he is.
Well, that's fantastic. That's a good reason not to be here.
Yep, that's a cool card. All of you.
Nope.
Looks like one.
It does. It's what generation next?
Okay.
So Alomar, and then they also had the
Delgado. Oh, Electric Diamond.
so again more of the sets that eventually
The long list of sets. I can't call it the short list because
there's not.
well, you span multiple sports though too, and that's the difference.
My
Oh, that's
Emerald.
the number to 5. Number to 5.
It showed up from Australia the other day. Finally.
Good.
Yeah, it's number 3 out of 5. But the seller shipped it in this brand new black mag inside a box, inside another box, inside a mailer. Shipped
Really?
all that to me. The card was only $6 and something.
He probably paid what, like $40 in shipping?
I paid, I think, $12 in shipping.
Okay.
So, yeah, he shipped it incredibly well and was very open with communication because he let me know that there were some issues between Australia sending stuff to the U.S. for whatever reason is at his post office. He goes, so it might take a few days to even process here. And it did. And then I don't remember how many days it took till it showed up in Chicago. And then Chicago held on to it for like 4 days before they did anything with it. Because that's just how Chicago operates. But I was like, oh, cool. I got a card in that I bought last month.
So what's the trade since you alluded to it?
Let's just say that is going away.
Oh, okay.
And I added cash.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've got one of my favorite cards ever is coming back in return. And
of the era of when any of the football collectors said it was some of their favorite cards ever, it was like pretty much any of the football collectors we knew and hung out.
Yeah. I don't know.
They'll give you 5.
See if I can get
well, see, the first thing that comes to mind for me is 2006 NT, but
2012 5-star jersey
Dual.
numbered 4 out of 10.
Okay, so a duel for a duel. Okay.
And this is my favorite duel of them.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's crazy. I posted it on my story on Instagram, and it was same franchise legends on the same card. So I posted the duel. Well, somebody added to my story with that. And then I messaged him, said, incredible card, absolutely love it. And he responded with, I like yours better. I'm like, we should talk. I was like, we should talk. And we worked out a trade. Unfortunately, he was in Vegas for 4th of July.
Okay. And
he was supposed to be back yesterday, and had an asthma attack.
Oh, damn.
So he said they gave him some medicine. He was going to stay a couple more days. He said Friday would be the latest he would be back. And because I asked him, I said, can I go ahead and get your, address and get this ready to ship out and everything? expecting to ship it out yesterday or today when he got back. And he goes, absolutely. He goes, but if you don't mind, he goes, don't ship it out till later in the week because he goes, I don't want it to arrive before I get home.
Yeah.
That way it's not sitting there. I go, yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that. He apologized for it taking longer. I said, I don't care. They're both PC cards for both of us, so it really doesn't matter how long it takes.
Right. Yeah, it's not like, I mean, there's not like you're in a hurry to either one of you to get it. I mean, you are, but you're not.
Oh, I want it right now.
Well, of course you do.
I wanted it the moment he said we made a deal. I'm like, yeah, I wish I could just fly to wherever you are and get it.
No, it's like you're waiting on that card to get like something else bigger and better or whatever the case.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you need that to finish up an even bigger deal type. Like it's
no. Who's my favorite Packer player? Really, it's 3. Brett Favre is the guy who got me into being a fan of football and then becoming a fan of the Packers. But it's Favre, Donald Driver, and Clay Matthews. Those are my guys. And then
honorable into Randall Cobb and beat their Rodgers.
Oh, yeah. Cobby and Rodgers, I mean, legends. I mean, that's why I collect Rodgers and Favre, and I've got some nice Cobbies in the collection too. But yeah,
with the side of Charles Woodson.
Yeah, there's pretty much the XLV team, the Super Bowl XLV team. Yeah. I like those guys.
Yeah, but at the same time, you do have a pecking order though.
I do.
What you're kind of getting at.
I do. It's Favre than everybody else.
Clay's a close second.
He is for sure.
I don't want to take away from that.
I spent the majority of my collecting him. I mean, an overwhelming amount of time on him compared to others.
That's why everybody knew Michael as the Clay Matthews guy.
Yep.
It's no different. I'm known as the TD guy. Dave is known as the Josh Johnson guy. Mm-hmm. Like it kind of goes synonymous with who you mostly collect.
Yep, and now I'm not that guy.
Nope, you're just a Packer. You're just a Packer guy nowadays. Uh-huh. Yep. Because it's although most of your focus has been like Favre, Rodgers as of late. Mm-hmm. There's other guys on occasion that you'll pick up stuff. So.
Oh yeah, I mean Jordy Nelson. Yeah, of course. I mean, who doesn't love Jordy? Jordy's awesome.
Ovi.
Yeah. Jordy Nelson is an absolute legend. Played, was a massive stud. Never heard anything about him. Went home and became a farmer. I shouldn't say he became a farmer. He was a farmer all along. That's what he did in the off season. He'd go back to Kansas and farm. And then he retired, and that's what he does. And he still shows up from time to time because he's a big part of the Donald Driver annual softball game. And then Driver passed the torch of that. I'm not sure. I'm blanking on who's the guy running it these days. But Jordy
Probably Chimura.
Yeah. No. He's more pool party guy. But Jordy shows up, still looks like he could play. And it's the same thing with Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews, he's been popping up a lot more in social media the last, since the last 6-8 months. And he looks like he could still suit up and play.
It's hard to, when you think about it, your whole life is football, spending time in the gym, and it's kind of hard to not
turn that off
after you're done with your career, so to speak.
Yeah, because I mean AJ Hawk's the same way.
AJ Hawks was massive.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, was he cut?
Yeah, and he still looks just like that. He still gets up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning every day and works out. He does it. It's just that's his lifestyle. I mean, that's just a normal thing. He doesn't even think about it as working out. That's just what he does.
Right. It's ingrained in just the day-to-day life.
Well, yeah, if you've been doing it for 20 plus years, I mean, you go back to pre-Ohio State for him. I mean, you don't get to Ohio State by being Schlubby Jones. You get there by putting in the time. So probably freshman, 8th grader, high school. So you're talking 25 years doing that. Where it's like, what do you do? Well, I get up, I make myself breakfast, I read the paper, I take a 2-mile walk. That's what I've done. Not me. Again, I get up at the middle of the night and go to work. So,
old school guys, it's Nitschke. Defense has always been my favorite thing, and Ray Nitschke was awesome. But there's you some Paul Hornung.
And no, we're not going to sing the song.
No, we are not.
Most people will have no idea what the hell we're talking about either, but I figured I'd throw it out there just in case.
I still have the Hornung card that came in that package with the note from that whole ordeal. He sent me it was the 97 Legends
Upper Deck Legends?
No, but it wasn't that. It was the tribute set that was like 2010 or 2011.
Okay.
Yeah. He said because it's all the college uniform, so it's Hornung in the Notre Dame gear.
Press Pass Legends.
I've got some Press Pass Legends.
That was some beautiful freaking stuff, man. There was only a small handful of us guys that actually appreciated 08 Press Pass Legends. That was like that checklist, not just from a rookie perspective, but like the Legends itself.
Mm-hmm.
That was a deep ass freaking checklist, and this shit was all on card.
Exactly, on card, different color inks, inscriptions. Yep. There's some great cards in that because I have some Jordy Nelson, Kansas, or K-State Wildcat cards.
Of course, I'll do one better, and a lot of people have no idea about this. I've talked about it before, and I have nothing left of it. Sold a lot of it, but I gave a lot of it away. But 2008 Press Pass Legends Bowl Edition. Limited number of cases, same concept, all on card, same insert sets, all that, but everything was numbered. So like the base set, I think is $299, $399. But it's all serial numbered. There is not a non-serial numbered card. And the only way I found out about it is because the card shop that I was going to was contacted by Press Pass. Hey, we have a crap ton of these cases. Like, do you want them? Do you think you can move them? And this was 2010, 2011, somewhere in that time frame. And he's like, are there any redemptions? And they're like, yes. He's like, well, if there's redemptions, what's the length of time, so on and so forth? Are they still good? And they're like, we can fulfill every redemption. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If a redemption is pulled, we can fulfill it. He's like, well, shit, sign me up.
Yeah.
And he bought, like, I want to say the last 40, 50 cases. A significant number.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, they didn't last long. They were $100 a box, $200 a box, $150, somewhere $100 to $200 a box. But they didn't last long. because once people started seeing the fact that everything was serial numbered and the checklist that they had, the dual autos, the triples, the quads, they're like, I'll take a risk.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I ended up opening like a case and a half just by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Not sealed, but over the amount of boxes that I opened. And man, that was the funnest damn product I think I've ever opened in my life. So
I remember one of my favorite press pass cards. It was whenever I was collecting James Starks.
Okay.
And he had a nickname. His nickname was Buck, but he had an autograph that just he just wrote Buck on him. And I think it was limited to like 5. It wasn't numbered, but that was what it was limited. I'm pretty sure that's what they said it was limited to, was 5.
Yeah, the good old stated print run.
Yep. I've got a buddy who's a massive Rogers collector, and he's been collecting Rogers since he was rookie, so he got into all the big rookie card stuff, great prices and everything. But one thing that he specifically likes to collect is 2005 Press Pass.
Okay.
Rogers had so many autographs in there. Like, I think there's 8 or 9 different autos that he has in there. And some of them, and it was like 3 of one image, 5 of another, 2 of this image, that type of thing, where he signed A-Rod instead of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, really?
So he has 5 out of, I think it is out of 8. He has 5 out of the 8 images with the A-Rod signature on them. And majority of people don't even know they exist.
Right. Yeah, I didn't
it's
know.
Such a niche thing. And that's something he likes to collect, and they pop up so rarely. I think since I've known about it, I've only seen one that's popped up for sale, and I've probably known about it for 5 years.
Right. Well, and a lot of things, granted, we all know that not everybody is a fan of the college jersey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put things into perspective and you compare Press Pass or Sage, Sage Hit, regular Sage autographed edition, whatever variation of Sage you want to throw out there, because there are multiple. When you look at the potential to pull a big name autograph, your odds are better in those products than what they were in pro products.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people, either they didn't realize or they didn't care because they wanted it in pro uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Because, let's face it, college doesn't sell like pro, but if I'm a player collector and knowing that you can't afford a pro uniform autograph of a said player, why wouldn't you go for something in a college uniform? Because it's going to be rookie, or it's going to be a subset of some sort of commemorative type situation. So there's something of significance. It's not just an autograph.
Right. For me, because college does not appeal to me at all. But I also haven't had, I'll take an Aaron Campman Iowa Hawkeye auto. Because Iowa Hawkeyes are the only college team that I care about at all. And so I would take, I know I have in a box somewhere an Aaron Campman Press Pass Iowa Hawkeye auto. And at the time, his only autographs were the Press Pass, and then he was in the Stadium Club Beam Team autograph set. It had to have been 07 when Adrian Peterson was a rookie. I think that was it 08? Okay, so it was 08. I remember AP being in that set, and he was kind of the chase guy. That's the guy you wanted to hit. But Aaron Campman had a Beam Team auto, and he had a base, and he had one numbered out of 25. And I have a copy of the out of 25 that Jason Big Fish gifted me, because he heard me mention one of my videos because I didn't know the card existed. I didn't think he had any Packers autos. And then when I found that it existed, I was like, man, I really want one of these. And then a package showed up in the mail and he had sent it to me. It's like, this is awesome.
Those were the days, though.
Oh, yeah.
Random conversations, casual conversations. And
yeah, just an off comment that somebody made in a video that they didn't think twice about turned into that kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's again, we talk about it frequently. That's what it was like in those days.
Mm-hmm.
It was never an expectation. It's the fact that people paid attention, and if the opportunity presented itself, that's what we did.
Yep.
And it was everybody. Yep. It was everybody.
It's right. Because he did the same thing with this. He had this Clay Matthews Fabric of the Game triple patch auto, and he sent it to me. I still have the Houndstooth business card that he had. I store it with the card. I've had probably 5 copies of this card, but I always keep this one because this is the one that Jason sent me.
That's how we roll.
Yeah, because here's another one that's with it. I have 2. This one came from Dave. And then I have the rare one, the one numbered out of 7.
Oh, I was going to say, is that like to 2 or 3 or some shit?
Yep, numbered out of 7. The other 2 are out of 25.
Well, yeah, Packers 7 letters.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Don't hold me to that, but that makes sense.
I had never thought about why out of 7. I just always knew that the team logo cutouts were super short print.
Well, that Panini was stupid with a lot of those, like again with the patches when you had like Drew Brees, the 101 or whatever. And somebody else was to like 3 or Manning was maybe in there, like 3 or 2 or 5. It's like, well,
my Beanie Wells to 5.
Yeah.
And then Stafford to 15 and Ryan was to 10. I think those were the only short prints, and everything else was to 50 or something. Yeah.
That prime cut set that I put the Rookies and Stars, I think it was Rookies and Stars. That prime cut set I
jumbo.
put together. Yeah, the awesome, nasty game used jumbo patches. Revis was short printed to 10, and all his were Pro Bowl patches. It was Pro Bowl jersey. The hardest card, the card that took me the longest to get was the Ryan Kerrigan out of 25. That was the last card I got, and it was barely 2 color, I think. Everybody else was crazy multicolor and everything.
Right.
But
I remember.
That set, I had the Santana Moss Redskins anniversary patch was in that thing. He was SP'd to 2.
I was gonna ask. I was like, wasn't there one that was like to 2, 3?
It was it was the one out of 2, and it was the first copy I had seen of it, and it was actually damaged. It was on eBay, and the guy pulled it, and it came out of the pack damaged. And I was like, I don't care. It's out of 2. I have to. Yeah. I need it. Yeah. So we made a deal for it. I think I still even paid. Paid like either $100 or $150 for it, just because it was an absolutely absurd patch.
Right.
Damage didn't matter on that card.
Well, I still remember I paid $90 for the Beanie Wells for my set, numbered to 5, and that's because it was basically the face of the Cardinal.
Yeah.
So that's the only time Beanie Wells ever would have captured a price point of
Dumba.
With somewhere on
there. Yeah, there's the auto.
Very nice.
A gift from Trista. She had asked about what would you do, or what's like a good price for a Matt Dumba jersey? I said, well, a good price.
Free.
Trying to get not stained in the dumpster behind Goodwill. I don't know.
I was gonna say, are we talking Goodwill? Because might be able to snag it for $7.
But I don't know. Like, it's like what an autograph and says authentic. It's not a game. It's not a gamer.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee you that. Because a gamer, because if you're asking me, it's more than what a gamer. Because I got a game that cost $300. So I'm like, regular jerseys go for about like 80 to 120, somewhere in that range, I think. And so anywhere in there, it's pretty decent. So what is that something you look for down? I'm like, no. Instantly, no. But the fact that she thought of me, I think, what was like a coworker's husband was always selling shit on like Facebook or something.
Mm-hmm. Marketplace.
Yeah. She's like, what about this? What about this? And again, there's some nice stuff there, but it's like even if you haggle a bit, you're not coming to the price where like, I don't need to feel like I'm getting a great deal, but I can't be like, man, I'm being strong on something that's not necessarily something that I need in my collection. I wouldn't mind it, but it's like, yeah, not like a pair of Josh Johnson cleats or something like that. So,
but the fact that you got a gamer for $300 is awesome, because an actual legit sweater is like 250 $275. The real high end ones.
yep. Like the actual with the fight straps and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it came with the thing from the Wild Pro Shop with the guy, or not the Pro Shop, the equipment guy.
Equipment manager.
Yeah, so I'm like, again, I don't know if I think that's when I sold off the stuff to Josh, DB Express down in Monticello
Mm-hmm.
in August of 2020. Again, stuff that I normally wouldn't look for. Again, the Ripken Elite Auto, the back-to-back. I think that was the one I got, the back-to-back with like Luongo, the dual auto, a Brodeur. That was like a 9.5. And again, not that I wanted that, but I'm like, that's the copy that's up, and that's the copy that I'm going to try to get. And then I think that was about the same time as the Precious Metals, like the 9.5. It was like about 400, I think. And again, I don't want to rip through the money, but at the same time, if I've got that type of money, I don't want to get like $40 cards.
Right.
Again, unless it's something like a North Cut numbered to 8, like that Donruss Elite status, the rookie. It's like, okay, that I don't mind, because there aren't many. Josh McCown is numbered to 4, 8, 4 or 8 too. It's like nothing. It might even be less. So it's like those ones I don't mind, but I'm like, no, I don't want to get a Kerry Collins auto to 50.
Right. No, if I have a chunk of change, I want to buy something substantial.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, you could have got vintage shit or this. It's like, well, yeah, you can, and that's great, but I go back and I always say I'd rather get stuff that when you looked at the Beckett as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only vintage I would have looked at, and I probably should have done a little better, was like Nolan Ryan. That's always the one that it's like you saw the mantle and that was like 15, 25,000, whatever. I'm never gonna get that. There's too many numbers there.
Right.
That's not gonna happen.
I will not purchase a 5-digit card. It will never happen.
But seeing like the Nolan at like 1,200 or 1,800 or whatever, I'm like, that's not terrible. It's a lot, but again, you're still watching Nolan Ryan when we're kids. Like you alluded to earlier, it's like watching him beat the piss out of Ventura, watching him throw the no hit. It's just like the Ryan Express, like the cool triple play nicknames card. Pacific set. I mean, it's just stuff that he had so much stuff. And again, just like it's almost like the John Wayne of baseball. It's just like a badass. I mean, no matter what the age was, and he wasn't going to sit there and sugarcoat it and any of that shit. That's just what you needed. Somebody that wasn't going to give you the same concept.
When I think of Nolan Wright, I think of Clint Eastwood. That's where my mind goes.
Just somebody that,
just
fuck with it. The old FAFO, fuck around and find out. That's what's going to happen.
Yep, he lived by that motto.
well before it was ever established as an acronym. Whatever.
Oh, he's like, they have a name for it?
Yeah. Put my picture by it.
Yeah.
But Robin Ventura, after he decided to pull my card. He found out real quick.
Yep. And
Mike, I got still have all the wrestling figures. I still have a bunch that are just no room on that's upstairs in the bedroom. But that I'm more in like a office chair and that, and then I really don't want to do that because this isn't great on this couch, but it kills my fucking back, and I've already killed my back enough with work, so I don't need to do it in leisure time either. At some point, if I get like a more ergonomically correct chair, maybe I'll do that. But this allows me to watch TV because I pay so much attention to the podcast. Once in a while, if Vinny's going on his honorable mentions, I'll cast my gaze up here. As it's the 10 minutes later, SpongeBob thing comes up. So, and the long hair you'll never see again.
I won't have my long hair again.
That was a one-off. I'm like, once I cut it, I was like, man, should I do this? When I cut it, I'm like, I should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah, I didn't hesitate. I didn't second think it at all. I was like, you know what? I wanted to see if I could grow it out. I did, because I've never grown long hair before. I was like, I want to see if I can do it. I did it, and then it was irritating me too much. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go cut this off, and did. And it's so much nicer now.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about shampoo.
Yeah, shampoo cost usage went way down.
I was like, okay, now it's just soap again.
Yeah, but it cuts down the shower time too. And the amount of time I have to spend pulling the hair out of the drain.
Oh.
Between me and the wife.
The Drano bill goes down.
Yeah.
So, we ready to open some stuff?
Sure.
Briefly. And I'll even mix it up. I'll go WNBA Optic, which is what everybody picked, and then another WNBA, so we can kind of spread out the monotony.
Ed's got to worry about flooding out there tonight. Flash flooding with Philly.
Are they getting a shit ton of rain right now?
Good. Yeah, once in a lifetime floods. You've got 3 in a week.
Yeah, I saw the Mets Orioles was canceled. I'm assuming postponed today because of rain.
Yeah,
because it was in Baltimore, I believe.
Yes.
I went out a little bit earlier because there was a chance for some heavy rain, and it got dark and the wind picked up, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad I'm doing this. And then nothing happened, but it's still very pleasant outside. So I can't complain because
That's nice.
It's
been just brutally humid here for the last week. It's been awful.
We've had enough breaks with the clouds and the rain and stuff to where it hasn't been horrible yet.
Yeah, we've had it super humid. The storm will roll through, and then the sun will come out and roast you right back up.
Yeah.
That's what it's been doing here for a week.
Yeah, we haven't had that bad. So
again, it's currently 77 out right now, and it feels like 78, so there's no humidity. So right now wouldn't be a bad time to be sitting out on the porch.
Yeah, really check to see.
We sat, Alicia and I think it was Saturday or Sunday. We sat outside while it rained. It was storming pretty good, and we were sitting on the porch. It was nice.
Yeah, it's showing 77 here. Feels like 77. Even though that breeze actually should make it feel a little bit cooler than that. But again, like, I'm not complaining. Almost in the middle of July, and we still haven't hit 100 yet. Knock on wood. All right, here we go. First pack of WNBA. Let's see what happens. Try and pull all the colored stuff to the back.
Can you say that?
Do what? Put all the color to the back? Yeah, I guess I can. I just did.
It felt like 1950 in here.
That's interesting. So there's like, maybe I screwed up and didn't pull everything.
Oh, did you mess up the Pokemon trick?
Yeah, I guess that's actually a hollow or a prism. Here. Of course, for those who have watched past breaks, like, I've already pulled one Caitlin. It's the photo variation, but we need the regular Caitlin. So that's what we're hoping to get. So here we go. We're going to start getting into the color.
And there you go.
Is that a gold? That is a gold. That's a fucking gold.
No kidding.
To 10. I don't know.
Olivia Apupa.
I don't know who that is, but that is a gold number to 10.
It's a gold rookie.
Yep, out of a fucking hanger.
Where you at, Ed? Where you at?
Let me get this in a sleeve real fast. That's crazy. I never would have thought that would have happened. Know nothing about the person, but that's not something that you're expecting to pull out of a hanger. So here's the oranges. So this is like what you're used to or supposed to be getting. You're supposed to get 3 oranges. Not even going to try.
You can know.
So kaleidoscope insert. Chasey Sheldon. I mean, she's good. So that's not a bad one to get. I was checking to see if it was a potential like a prism. Fearless. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
There's the other. That's the orange laser. So there's orange ice and then there's orange laser. And then we should end with the green. And then, of course, I have like another base card on the back just so I didn't see what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get anybody huge, so to speak, but
Yeah.
a gold out of 10.
I would say that's probably about a $25, $30 card. There hasn't been one on eBay. One hasn't sold, but there's a black gold out of 5 currently listed for $46.75 or best offer.
Yeah.
So,
That pretty much pays
for
it. Yep.
Definitely.
Not a whole lot of only one rookie in that entire. That's crazy.
That is.
But again, it's at least with these you get a chance of more rookies than you do in a blaster box. So that's the reason why I ended up kind of loading up on these more than I did on the blasters.
It's awesome that you can pull gold out of retail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can pull blacks out of these.
Yeah.
Now, granted, like good luck, but you know.
Hey, somebody's got to pull them.
Exactly.
And if Ed ain't
it'll never be me because I open nothing ever.
Well,
so I won't be the somebody, but.
All right, here we go. Optic. So this is my last optic blaster. So these are the pinks. Crappy rookie. Guess I should have just left this on the back. Because I'm not really looking for rookies.
Oh, that's
Glad
nice.
McConkey. That's a nice start.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a nice start on the pinks. No complaints there. It's a good way to start. Of course, still nothing tops the 2 Caitlins and the Bo Nix from
Bo Nix last week. Now, is McConkey the skill position guy you want to pull?
No. Or Roma Dunze is the other one for Chicago. But
yeah, but he did not have a good rookie year.
He did not, but his it's all about the ceiling, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, McConkey had a really nice rookie season.
Oh fuck, fellas. I think I just pulled a duel downtown.
Oh boy.
I think I just pulled a duel downtown. I'm gonna save it. I didn't see it.
I for you, I hope it's the Broncos.
Yeah. But it's a horizontal, and that's usually a duel downtown. So
yeah.
And I may save it to end on. So we may be doing the other WNBA before I show this. Whoo, shit. That is not something I was expecting.
That's awesome.
Holy shit. Damn. Here's the next pink. Dallas Turner. Xavier Worthy on the rookie. That's not
Is
bad.
Dallas Turner the one who was in the news for getting scammed out of like $250,000?
I don't know. I haven't heard that, but we went to Alabama, so it's a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Vikings Dallas Turner scammed out of $240,000 in a bank fraud case. Only 2,500's been returned so far.
I said Jalen Ramsey, optic, hollow. That'll go to
Refractor.
Our good friend Brad. And then not a bad rookie either, Bucky Irving. I've got, decent rookies at least. Oops, I just put that on top of the stack with, I think, is the dual downtown. And then this is the last pink.
Oh.
Nate Wiggins. And then Jonathan Brooks on the rookie.
Yeah, this is oof. He definitely should have talked to somebody before he got scammed. It says, per the affidavit, someone impersonating a banker at J.P. Morgan Chase called Turner on February 19th and claimed someone was attempting to impersonate Turner at a Chase Bank branch in Arizona and presented 2 copies of ID to execute a wire transfer. It said the caller instructed Turner to transfer money to 2 separate businesses to prevent the attempted theft. So Turner went to 2 Chase Bank branches to transfer $120,000 each to Island Food Truck LLC and CNLFL LLC. And he said later, and then Turner 22 later realized he may have been a victim of a fraud scam. You think? Oh my God!
Oh, no.
I mean,
Vinny comes in at the right time too.
I hear there's something good. It might be sitting in the bottom of that pack.
Yes, but I'm
holding it.
So we have 15 people here. I know we're not going to get 15 votes. Do I wait to the very end after I open this other hanger, or do I show it now?
Just wait. Go ahead, open the hanger.
Okay, just wait. All right. That's kind of what I wanted to do too, because I want to build up the suspense. Hodges is like now.
I'm really hoping it's Kenny Pickett, Antonio Brown.
I hope it's some rookie that you could sell for like $10,000 and friggin' get something good for yourself.
Yeah, like a Jaden Caleb Williams or something.
Or like a Toyota Camry.
And then you can go buy your TD PMG green.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would do with found money.
Well, it's so most of the duels, if I'm not mistaken, are at least one rookie.
Except
or at least there is one. And and I can't think of who it is though. Is it Brock Purdy?
George Kittle, probably.
That sounds right.
Ed DeBartolo.
Yeah.
So this is appearing to be another shitty non-rookie pack, but here we go. Start to get into the color. Yeah, since I brought Vinny on, it made me small again. So here we go. Orange Ice. Okay, we're going to because I just pulled the prism, the hollow of this.
It's gonna be a black.
I have no idea who you are.
Where's Ed when you need him?
Right. Something Jackson. Like I've heard the name, so like she's not a nobody.
Michael.
Huh?
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Good old Nancy Lieberman on the Pioneers.
Oh, she dropped the Klein off the end?
Well, for this one. No. It may be nope, there is no Klein on this one. Fractal. Oh, something Nurse. I don't want to mispronounce the first name.
Nick Nurse.
So this is the orange laser Sue Bird.
Sue Bird.
It's not bad. And
her wife is insufferable.
Then the green is Mercedes Russell, and interestingly enough, there's like the hollow is in a weird spot.
Aaliyah Edwards.
So that's a photo variation. Oh, that's just a rookie. I'm not even to the. Okay. Well, I'm not there yet. My bad.
Huh.
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite person, Angel Reese.
I was about to say, you got to get to one of her.
Here's the hollow.
No.
It's just it was in a weird spot. So not a rookie.
She's tired of being humble. I must have missed when she was being humble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no base rookies in that hanger box either, only variations. Interesting. Now, I'm pulling rookie color, so that's not a bad thing. And these hangers are the best opportunity to pull rookie color. So 2. And Vinny, you weren't here earlier, but we don't know who this person is, but it's a rookie, and it's a gold numbered to 10. That came out of the first one.
Okay. That's pretty good.
So can't complain. Pull a card numbered to 10 out of a retail product. All right. Now it's the moment of truth, fellas. Here we go. Now let's not fuck this up.
I said, I'm hoping for Broncos for you.
So here's the rookie, Max Melton. Who gives a shit? I want to put this behind because this also has the hollow in it. So I've got the downtown, I think, in between. Yep, I do. So here's the hollow.
Tyler
Hey.
Allgaier.
Algiers.
Yep. So,
Algiers.
all right. Which way does this go? I don't fucking know. I'm fucking nervous, guys.
Oh, Lamar and Andrews. Very nice.
Yeah, that's
Still not bad.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Never thought I would pull one of these.
That's actually a cool background, too.
Yeah, that's freaking killer.
With the Raven. Look at that.
Back looks clean. There's no
Look at that.
surface. There's no surface scratches. So then there's two. There's 2 then that have no rookies. That's fucking killer, man.
Her Prism Orange to 99 is $4. Her green to 49 is $5.
Well,
Michael found the black gold that's listed
There's a
at
black gold listed.
$46.75 best offer. Right now, best offer.
Okay.
And it's numbered to 5, but this is fucking killer, man. This is not anything that I was expecting to pull, guys, at all.
No.
So, case hit for the win. And these are a hell of a lot harder to pull than your base downtowns.
Mm-hmm. Well,
$400.
the last one sold July. Well, there was a PSA 10 on July 8th, which that was yesterday. Sold for $9.15. A raw one sold for $4.15 yesterday as well.
I was close. I said 400.
Yep. July 6th, one sold for $5.30. Yeah, I mean, this thing's $400 plus all day long.
Wait till training starts and boom.
Yeah, I think I'm going to look over this thing again and see. Maybe this is a grading candidate.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Man.
it's the price doubles if it comes out of 10.
That's fucking killer, man.
Yeah, it is.
We've been pulling heat.
Yeah, you should only open up your product on here.
That's what I've been doing lately. I've been sitting on it and just waiting to be able to do it here.
And not even in after hours. Where
That's the other thing. Like, it's actually like we've been doing it on the show because, you know, I pulled the Victor red, white, and blue in after hours. The base optic rookie, even though that wasn't a huge card, but still, like, it's not garbage. But freaking Vinny with the 101 last time we opened on the freaking Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
And then the two Caitlin colors that I've pulled. And now a freaking case hit live on the IRP. See what happens when you don't stick around? You never know what you're going to see. That's fucking killer, man. I'm glad everybody got to watch that. Appreciate it. That was freaking awesome. I've seen enough videos and watching people hitting case hits after case hit after case hit after case hit on like 3 and 4 and 5 blasters. And, it's so I've only opened 2. That was only my second and pulled a case hit. And it's a downtown. It's not the uptowns, even though a lot of people like the uptowns, but they're single players. This could have definitely been a worse player combination than what that is. That's for damn sure. That just made my fucking night. Woo!
Oh, man.
WNBA didn't hit for the first time in a while, even though we did pull a card numbered to 10, which is still kind of fucking cool. Too bad it wasn't a Caitlin.
That would have been nice. Because then when you sold that, it would you would need tax forms.
Yep.
Because I think her gold true rookies sell for 6 figures.
It's up there. It's up there.
Speaking about tax forms, did you all see what happened with that with the 1099s?
Yeah, it's up to 20 grand now.
It's back to what it used to be, 20 grand. It has to be 20 grand and 200 transactions.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah, it's got to be over 220,000. So that's the way it was for years until they decided to start fucking with it. Now it just means that I will be willing to sell on eBay again.
As will I.
Because I stopped once they started lowering that. Because here's a real shocker: I don't want to pay taxes. I hate the fact that I have to pay sales tax on the cards I purchase.
Right?
Because Missouri was like the last holdout. Everybody was. I know Joey had been paying sales tax for like 2 years before I did. Missouri just waited till they were the last ones to do it, and then I was like, "Oh, that's sad." And now, I'm sure you guys all saw it as well, that eBay is testing out an extended bidding format. That ruins eBay for me.
Yep.
Because I only ever bid in the last 5 seconds, and I only bid once.
As do I.
So them going to extended bidding just means I will not be participating.
We'll see how long it lasts, because there's already a significant amount of outrage I've kind of seen. Okay, your auction houses already do it. That's fine. Yep. Let those auction houses do it. They also don't deal with the volume that eBay does.
Right. And that's where a lot of people said that's what Yahoo auctions, I guess that was a thing that people were using. And when they went to extended bidding, it killed
it.
Everybody said, nope.
It literally died within a week.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of stuff off there way back when, and it completely just destroyed it.
See, to me, if you have extended bidding, then there's no sense in putting like a weekly, like a 7-day auction.
No,
it's
right.
Just, you list it, and to me, it's 24 hours, and in that 24 hours, if nobody bids, the auction's done. But to have to sit around for a week and then maybe wait another 4 or 5 hours to win something, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, there will be no setting an alarm and waking up at 3:00 in the morning to bid on a card.
No, and that's what a lot of people said, that why they don't think it's going to work with the eBay is because of international bidding, because all the auctions don't start at the same time. They're literally every second of 24 hours. It's not going to work.
Agreed.
And it will, if they do go to it, it will end my usage of eBay.
They could use it, but it's got to be somebody smart that's like, okay, if you don't want to go through the auction house, which I don't know why you wouldn't. I gotta know if they take a good percentage of shit, but like I'd rather have like an REA do something than do it through eBay and then do it through the authentication verification, whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah, the authenticity guarantee.
I'm like, I'd rather go through an REA if I had something that was going to bring 4, 5, 6 figures. Again, it might get lost in the shuffle there, but I know it's going to be taken care of, and I don't have to fucking do anything. But if it's something like that, it should have. Because I remember the old web browser where you had like icons next to like the listings. So the photo was in there, then you had like the little camera, and then something else was on there. I can't remember exactly what, but that one would have to be like a timepiece would have to be on that the extended offer. So you could have that as like one of your like if you want to buy it.
I would use the filter out option.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm going to do. If I'm gonna bet it's gonna be right at the end, and if I don't win, I'm not gonna sit there for another 2 hours.
Yeah, and so many people say, why do you snipe and blah blah blah. Good snipers won't be able to win these things anymore. And they're like, I was like, I don't bid on things until the very end because I don't want people to know what I'm going after.
Yep.
Well, and I don't want to fucking go up to my max bid because somebody
to start
shilling it.
Yep, that's the other thing.
Yeah,
and who gives a shit? Like, I would venture to say if they actually did a poll, the freaking people who snipe, and I'm not talking those who use sniping tools. That's included in the question aspect, but do you snipe an auction? In other words, do you use an application, a tool, or do you wait till the last? The answer would be overwhelmingly high for those who responded.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way that anybody could tell me that it would be low.
Mm-hmm.
I don't other than Vinny, who has when he does a lot of his bidding, like $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 or whatever, he doesn't give a shit if he wins it. But if it's something that he's significantly going after, he's going to wait until he's going to put in an early bid. And then if it stays within reason, he's going to place that last bid for whatever his max is. And you were awfully loud there, sir.
Sorry.
I will give everybody there's still a decent enough people in here. So I showed this earlier. So the poll for next week, it will be the same, except there will be no more optic, or optic blasters. So it'll be. So I do have a full box of the value packs. So it's going to be one of those when these get selected. The seal will be opened, and somebody will pick the two. So value packs, optic will still be a thing. The 2 value packs for Prism will be a thing because I still have 2 sitting here. Select will be on the list for the first time, and then WNBA hangers will still be on it because I still have 6 sitting here. And eventually select hangers or select value packs will be part of the selection, but I haven't gotten those yet. I got a box of those too coming. So still quite a bit to open over the next few weeks, but it's going to start kind of drying up once we get through what's sitting here because there's not much I really give a crap about going into 25. I'll still I'll try and get Prism and Mosaic and Optic to sit on, but to open, probably not. Basketball, same thing. I'll go after the main brands because of Cooper, but it's something that I'll sit on. I won't open. Most likely. I won't say I won't open, but most likely I won't open. That's a better response. That's a better answer because I may get a burr in my ass and decide to want to open something. We are not. The four of us are not.
Nope.
We the early plan was we were going to go. Blame it on me. I don't care. Because of everything that I had kind of going on. That's why I couldn't go. I don't want to speak for the rest of the crew.
I couldn't go because my company's changing hands at the same time. This is all through the transition. Will be in high gear come time of the national.
Yeah, that would have sucked to actually get your tickets, your national tickets, and granted, I still would have done the same thing through the timeshare where the room would have cost you nothing. I would have covered that expense. So you wouldn't have been out that expense since you drive typically. You may have flown if you couldn't convince John to go. But your biggest expense would have been the actual VIP ticket to the national more than anything. But that still would suck. They're $200.
Somewhere in there.
I think they're $200. So eventually we'll start having discussions about next year because next year is in Chicago. I like Chicago. I enjoyed Chicago.
Now that I know where it stands with my contract now, they're supposed to be sending me my offer sheet next week, either the end of this week or beginning of next week. I already know what it's for. It's just the formality of having to sign the paperwork. Now that I know where I stand and I don't have to worry about what's going to happen, and because now we're locked in for 6 years. I will probably be buying and booking my stuff early for next year. That way I'm forced to go.
Well,
because left to my own devices, I like sitting in this chair. So,
well, I didn't have the opportunity to talk to my old neighbor, put the bug in her ear in preparation, and just kind of, again, putting the bug in her ear for next year.
Mm-hmm.
I had talked to her about this year, and all was going to be good. There wasn't going to be any issues. She's just like, I just need to know what the dates are going to be, when you're available to provide, the credit card information, and all would be good. So I don't foresee that being an issue going into next year. It'll be interesting to see because last week, and just so everybody is aware, this is also kind of why I didn't talk much last week. 20 people got notified that they were losing their job effective August 25th at my company. To make matters worse, for these individuals, we are backfilling the positions with individuals in India. So it is strictly a cost-cutting measure, which means I lose my tenured team. So I've had two people for however long I've taken on this position. and they're being replaced. This has been a trend for the last 3 years. It has hit us the last 2. So it's one of those in which I may be next year. I don't know. But it's not going to prevent me from going because it's at the end of August, end of July. Then
Nationals at the end of July.
Okay. I don't know why I was thinking August.
So
So
it's always end of July into the first week of August.
which is what I thought, but I was like, I started like second guessing myself. Even if I were to find out I would be losing my job, I will hit my 20 years. It means my severance would be at its max. I would still fucking go.
Yeah.
So that's not going to change anything from that perspective. So as of right now, I'd say at least next year is probably, at least for me, I'll say 85% a go. I don't want to say 100% or 90 or 95, but I'll go with 85 for now. Again, it's early, but we were all hyped and ready to go for this year, and shit just kind of fell apart. And I guess for good reason, especially for you, Michael, because like early on we were all like, okay, it's a go. And then of course you had the shit that happened for your stuff too, for your job. So,
and who knows, a year from now, I might not even own cards.
Well, that's true too, but
I never know.
Again, like I'm going for the people, and it's
for sure. Which is why I don't have a problem just all picking a spot and hanging out for 4 or 5 days and not even be at a show.
Well, and we've talked about that too. That's always something that we've talked about, trying to find a place somewhat kind of in the middle between all of us.
Or we all go to Yellowstone. We can all go out to Estes Park. I'd like to go there.
Anything is a possibility at this point with the right amount of timing and conversation and arrangements and agreements, and because you're right, like I could do that too.
A cheap destination.
I mean, because I would always be willing to do something like that, just like freaking get a cabin and freaking hang around a campfire, freaking grilling and having conversations. A few of us getting drunk if we choose to do so.
Well, the Dallas card show you guys just had was insane.
Piss poor timing. They did it over the fucking July 4th weekend.
I know.
So, like that.
There were a lot of incredible cards in that room.
There is, from what I've understood, there always is, though, too, Michael.
Yeah.
And that's at some point I'm going to get to one, regardless if regardless if I can meet up with Ryan. I need to go to one just to go.
I might go down to his shop this weekend. I don't think I have anything going on.
Take some video, take some pictures.
Yeah. We'll see. I might wait another week.
Because how far is it for you?
According to Google Maps, 2 hours and 26 minutes. So a little less than that.
That's still a hike.
It's really not, though. It's all interstate.
Is it?
Yeah.
Great.
Yep. Yeah, he's right off I-70, and I'm 18 miles south of 70. So I just got to get to 70 and then shoot up. Yeah, it's not. Once I saw it, because when I would go to the fluorescent shop, it was like a 3 hour or so, a little over 3 hours. And it was not off of I-70. It was off of there are a few different exits you had to take, and whatnot. So it took a while to get there. And then when I looked this up and saw it was that close, I'm like, well, this is easy.
Gotcha.
That's an easy jaunt. I can get up. I could leave here at, 7:30 in the morning, be there when they open, hang out for 5 hours and still be back before dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go.
So, I mean, it's not a bad trip for me at all.
That's one way to look at it. Good deal.
Yeah, because I think Tristan and I left. I don't even know what time it was. Because we got there by noon. The second store.
And I think it's about 20 to 30 minutes closer to me now.
Yeah.
The new shop is, as opposed to the one they just left.
Yeah, because it went from like Florissant to like St. James and now O'Fallon or vice versa.
St. Charles.
St. Charles.
Yep.
So,
yeah, Florissant, St. Charles, and now they're in O'Fallon.
So I think that's where Ryan's at too. I don't think it's far from where he lives.
Yeah. Now the St. Charles shop, Luke lived right behind it. He was like 2 minutes away. So, yeah, I talked to him a little bit because he went and he got to tour the place before it opened. And then he ended up going up on opening day.
We had a good turnout, that's for sure.
Yeah. Alicia's like, why aren't you going? I go, there's going to be too many people. It's way too many people for my liking. I said, just by seeing the videos, I said, I'd like to go to the trade night and everything. I said, but there already was standing room only. So I'm not going to go there and be around way too many people with no cards that I want.
I was going to say, you're not going to see anything that's going to tickle your fancy.
No, not amongst the trade
12 and 14-year-olds that are.
Though I did see, why am I blanking on what his name is? His last name's Hill. The Steven Jackson collector.
Okay.
He made the trip. He would have been. I would have liked to have spoke to him because I've talked to him through messages before, but I've never actually met him. Devin Hill is his name.
Okay.
It would have been cool to talk to him because he collects the stuff that we like.
Which is very good.
Yep. And I would like to go down there and talk to, like Ryan was talking, John, the sheriff. I want to talk to him because he collects the stuff that we like.
No, I don't think I've even at like the National. I haven't talked to him.
Yeah.
Really at all, but again, it's not like he knows us either. Or at least
right.
So
yeah, he wouldn't know me by name. I'm sure he would recognize me whenever I stood in front of him, but the odds of him knowing my name are very low because, like Ryan said, he does nothing with social media.
So Vincenzo, how'd it go?
Going back Friday, apparently.
Nice.
So I'm sitting there, and she's with Gabe, the guy that's taking Popa's place while he's in Portugal. He messaged us the other night. He goes, guess where I'm going? I'm like, Spain. He goes, how'd you know? I'm like, because you're like 23 years old. You're jet setting. 1 minute you're working for Columbus Crew. Next minute you're hobnobbing with Messi and then Ronaldo's kid. And you're living a good life, kid. And I commend you because you have a plan, you know. I'm putting money aside. I'm getting them to pay for room, board, and everything, and I'm taking the money I'm getting, and I'm doing my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid's taking his place while he's there, and Cease walks past this guy, and he's sitting on his stool, and he's old school keeper gloves, Nikes that were oversized. You don't see that as much anymore.
The Mickey Mouse gloves. The Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
gloves.
I mean, they're big. They're the material of them is thick leather.
Burlap.
All I hear are like 6 or 7 words. I look at Meredith and I'm like, easy. I said, that's not Croatian. It's not Albanian. I said, it sounds Serbian to me. And sure enough, he's Serbian. But he's eyeing up my kid. I'm like, what's this guy doing? He keeps looking back at her. And I'm like, this dude, what's he doing? He's like, bring her here. Bring her here. He goes, jump in. I want you with, there's a set of girls and there's a set of boys. She goes to jump and go with the girls. He goes, no, you with boys. And the other 2 girls are probably pissed. Like, why did she get to be with the boys? Because that's all she ever trains with. And she jumped in there. He did it 3 times at her dives. The 3rd time, because she never worked with the guy before. She doesn't know what he's doing. So basically hit the cone, come out, kick save, back up, volley right at you, then turn this way in another volley. And the 3rd time she did it perfect. And he's like, she has something. And then he talked to my wife and Gabe, and I sort of walked away and said, you figure it out, and I'll evaluate from here. Because you can't bullshit a bullshitter, and I'll bullshit with the best of them. And number one, you're not going to tell my kid, oh, she's special, and then ask how much money it costs. That's the first thing out of my mouth. I said, well, how much is it? Well, he didn't mention money. I said, well, that's interesting. I want her my club. I'm like,
Okay. Again,
we're committed for 24, 25, 26, excuse me. Backdated that one a bit. So we'll see what he has to say. We'll see on Friday. But he couldn't believe she was 13. He's like, what do you mean? 15, 16? No, 13. 1, 2, 3. I forget how to count in Croatian. Jedan, dua, whatever. It's been a while. That's where I need my grandfather. That he should have taught me more.
None of us would have known.
Yeah, it's true. But we'll see. I mean, she was like, well, she gets in the car. She goes, well, to quote my uncles, I didn't have that one on my bingo card. I'm like, yeah. I did not have that on my bingo card either.
Yeah.
And my wife looked at me. We're driving along. She's going 89 in a 70. And there's a cop right next to us. He didn't pull us over. I can't believe it, for going 19 over. And she's looking at me. She's like, what just happened? I said, I don't know. I said, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. So apparently he's a straight shooter. And when he sees talent, he doesn't just like willy-nilly do this. Like, he doesn't just see every person around and say, oh, her, oh, him. He's very particular. Apparently he's trained 14 MLS goalies. That's a pretty good track record.
Yeah.
Countless people to college. So we'll see what has to go on. Like I said, she's a commodity. After they put NIL money into the mix and all these things, in my opinion, if you want my kid, what are you going to do for her? Sorry. That's the way the world works now. She's given everything she has to everybody else as her papa, and me doing it for 40 some years and always going, hey, what do you need? No, what that was me. Her, what are you going to do for her? What sets you apart? What you going to do for her? How are you going to make her better in life?
Nothing wrong with that.
And well, it's after, there's only so long you can take the old payment with these.
Very true.
I realize these don't pay the bills.
Unfortunately,
These
not.
don't get you to college. These don't get you jobs or promoted or any of that stuff. So
speaking of brains and heads, top 5 hobby egos to wrap us up for this evening. Anybody?
I have nothing to contribute.
Well, I was trying to think. I don't think I have 5. I might,
Oh no, I do have one. I'm gonna keep it to myself.
but they're not going to be in any particular order for reasons, because they all, as far as I'm concerned, have equally big egos. Fuck it, I'll go first. Again, in no particular order. I'm not going to give any context. I'm just going to throw out names. Sound good?
go.
So first one I'm going to go with is Geoff Wilson. He would be number 1 on probably a lot of people's list, but again, any one of these could be a number 1, so which is why I'm not going to go in any particular order. So my first one is Jeff Wilson. Vincenzo? Sure.
I'm going to say this and leave it at that. You know who you are out there. And if you don't realize who you are, which is probably the case when you think about it, you probably don't realize your ego is the size of Mount Kilimanjaro. Karma's a fickle bitch.
I'm disappointed in you, Vinny. Who gives a
gonna
shit?
come back.
Just fucking say it, man.
No, I didn't make a list because last 3 days have been a blur for work, and he's up there. The guy you just said. He doesn't. It's like some of the after the Disney debacle with him, Disney and in that. I'm like, you make a bold statement like that and think you're bulletproof, and yet nobody says a word. Or you pry cards away from fathers and sons, and then you sell them. Or your head floats above the clouds, and you leave some putts to do your deal, and then you blame that guy. Or when you give an apology, you call the guy an idiot.
You're just throwing out things, and you're not giving names.
Situation. Man. Or you say you have sponsors, and you say the names of these channels, and you tell us nothing about them. You just randomly give us names, much like I'm doing right now. In my zebra print shirt, I'm a zebra parallel tonight.
See, that Dave and I guess, don't give a shit.
I sent you mine, Dave.
I can't see with the thing going, but I will.
No. I'll send it.
Send it to me. Send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it through IG.
Yeah, IG.
Yeah,
some of those people will be on my list too, there, Vinny. But I'm gonna call them out.
Number 5 is same, Steve. That's where, again, maybe in the grand scheme of things, the other 4 that I've got are not the biggest egos, but in our viewership space, that's what I'm going off of. I could put Man Bun, I could put Stupid Stink Line, I could put all these other jack off fucking wearing shorts that are like 8 sizes too small. But come on.
Back in the day, Michael, I can't disagree with that.
And I want to put a caveat with that. I don't mind him, but he likes himself a lot.
Yeah.
And he always has.
Yeah, very much holier than thou because of what he did for a living.
It comes off very condescending, but very self-aggrandizing. But again, I've met him.
Not a bad dude.
I've met him, had a good conversation with him, but that's his flaw is the ego.
But that's what we're talking about. Like,
right.
Having an ego doesn't necessarily make you a bad person.
Correct.
Which is why, like, one of my people, others may disagree with me, but I don't think he's bad. But he definitely has an ego.
Yeah.
So, Dave, you went with Jeff for your number 5. Next on my list, because like we'll bypass Vinny because he's not going to call out people by name. He's pretty much given his 5, and I know 4 of the 5 that he alluded to. I'm not quite sure about.
I also don't like the guys who hit a lot of home runs in Canada, and he's sweet baby Jesus. He's on Instagram and Mary Magdalene. Dude,
I don't know who that is either. But
yeah,
anyways,
you don't.
I digress.
Yeah.
So the next one on my list, and this is one that definitely has an ego. Don't hear about him as much lately. And again, this is out of all of these people, I think he's the lesser of all the evils, and that's Gary Vee.
Yeah, I agree there.
Very much.
I don't think he has. I don't
think he's a bad dude. I really don't.
He's not malicious in what he does.
No,
correct.
I think he's the complete opposite. But I think he's more cocky than egotistical. Do you think?
I think that's a fair assessment, but we're talking about egos, though, and and I understand why you phrased it that way. Early on, like Gary Vee was everywhere.
He's got a swagger to him that he's confident.
And,
he just rolls.
So again, like I don't dislike the guy.
No, I think he's smart.
Out of all the bigger names in the space and those with what I would consider bigger egos than him, he's the lesser of all the evils. Like I could sit down and probably have a conversation with the guy and probably walk away and learn something because he's that type of person. And I go back to the story that Canadian Card shared with us about him bumping into Gary Vee at breakfast, at lunch or something, and he recorded a video for his son.
Yeah.
So, like, he, at that time, at that national, like, he was at the upper echelon. Like, that's something that you would have never thought would have transpired.
No.
Mike in Canadian Cards is a peon in the space when you put things into perspective. And he took the time and was gracious in doing it and enjoyed it. So, but again, I still think he's on my list of top 5 hobby egos. Dave?
Matt Burrows.
He didn't make my list, but
when you go through as many people, the Hockey Roundtable, me, Carlos, all these the collective stories, and I mean, you do not see people gravitate towards like sticking around him. When you are literally a leech sucking the knowledge out, and then the carcass is gone. you have already moved on. Again, Billy Stilio will learn about this, and so will Upper Deck, but again,
Yep. Give it time.
yeah. If he wasn't the way he's programmed, he wouldn't be terrible. But when you're constantly trying to, like, you see, like, somebody has like a 5, a 20, and a 1 in their hand, and you're not just, I'll be happy with whatever I get. You're trying to grab 20. And it's like, dude, just pump your brakes just once.
I don't know who this person is.
You do.
I know that
Essential credentials. The guy that collected A-Rod said he was DC for life, sold him off. Jocelyn Tebow said he wasn't going to sell him, sold him. Marc-Andre Fleury, the flower guy.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Same.
Glass now.
It's your
okay,
card.
Okay.
But don't say, and we used to say it, PC for life. Don't ever say that if it's not something that you intend. Like stuff we get from each other that's usually PC for life. Again, unless hey, I can get X, Y, or Z, whatever. We went through this scenario before. But when you sit there and put on this act, posts on Facebook or on Instagram, man, I got this card from this father-son duo. He pulled it at the store. Blah 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 blah. Like trying to build up a friendship and relationship, and then I got what I want. Delete.
Now we're done.
That's the shit I don't. I'm not a fan of.
That's the gross part about
the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the hobby in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll throw. No, I won't because I haven't cleared it with the person below me. I could have another tale, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be polite because I like Vinny.
Yeah, so, we'll say
I'm
that.
glad I like you too.
Yeah.
Like James Earl Jones. Let me guess, you like Star Wars. I like Star Wars too. You like cars. I like cards too.
I haven't seen Star Trek, so I don't know.
Live long and prosper.
So
live long.
Next person on my list,
Tang.
and like my first 4 are bigger known names, so to speak, but again, in no particular order. Next one on my list is Kenny G.
The saxophone guy?
Ken Golden.
Oh.
Yeah.
Genius, but man.
So, what else? There's nothing more to say.
No.
Marketing genius.
Yeah.
Marketing genius, but kind of a snake in the grass.
Not kind of.
Yeah, that's
for sure it is.
I'm trying to be.
He literally will say whatever he needs to say to get you to consign with him, and then he will just fuck you on that because he doesn't care what your item sells for because he's getting a commission no matter what.
Yep. So he's number 3 again, no particular order.
And again, these are all small potatoes, relatively speaking.
Well, I do have one that's quote unquote small potatoes, relatively speaking, but I was focusing on the more super well known people because they do have usually the bigger egos.
Well, that's true.
Who you got next, Dave?
Once scored 56 points in like a 5th grade basketball game. His nose is as big as Pinocchio's without lying. I think he's going to be on 14 of the 15 Hobby Palooza shows talking about something that he doesn't know anything about. But that Chris from Missouri, you want to talk about people that rub anyone that likes dogs the wrong way? If you trade your dog away or get rid of your dog, it's looking too much or whatever. It's like, man, I got 0 seconds for you to come around me and it's going to be trouble. I cry more for dogs than I ever will for people. And I exactly.
Dogs.
Right, Trooper.
Yeah.
You
No,
tell
that
him.
was that.
Was that
So
Charlie?
Yeah, that was Charlie.
yeah,
He
it's
heard
just-
somebody.
I had a
he heard-
50-50 chance.
Well, yeah, he heard somebody probably walking through the breezeway.
So yeah, that just that alone is enough for utter hatred and contempt. So
Agreed. And I'll actually give you 6. I'll give you a two-headed one for my next one, since you did mention the whole dog thing. So next one on my list, I'm going to give you 2 names. One being Jab's family, and the other one I am going to throw out there would be Vegas Dave.
Oh, forgot about him.
but that's
I feel like this has become top 5 hobby douches.
No,
is.
it's these
This is just a
all,
douchebag convention.
all these people have major egos, like to
Sponsored.
where
Sponsored by Matt and Gil.
Yeah.
So
Summer breeze.
it's
Makes me feel fine. Going to the Cavs shop.
and
Number
yes,
2?
a lot of these are douchebags, but again, like Gary Vee's not a douchebag. Like I don't
No, he
so
yeah, like you said, for him for business, I'm gonna listen because he's done a lot business wise, very intelligent.
he has a streaming channel on Pluto, guys. Pluto TV. He has his own channel. And it's all about investments and things. Like I've never listened to it, but I've seen advertisements while watching like movies and stuff because they do run commercial breaks through stuff. He's got his own fucking channel, man. So
bet you
that says something about
plays at Card Collector 2's shop.
he didn't make my list, but he's also up there. But I digress.
I don't think he's got the biggest ego. I don't think he's the biggest douche, but yeah, there's. And again, Ryan says he's a good guy,
But remember, top 5 hobby egos. This isn't.
I know.
So, and
That
this
would
is
be-
all.
That'd be one down near like the 20 to 25, maybe receiving votes. I mean, if we had an expanded rank.
And he probably wouldn't be there if it wasn't for that whole grading scandal. And that, not that I'm an old timer.
I
but
disagree with that. I'm just saying.
That's one of the reasons where that was not good.
No, it wasn't.
And when you're not transparent, that hurts.
I had actually forgotten about that.
Somebody's gonna have like a book, like a yearbook of like card drama and stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
That's what Jack and Tyler need to do. That's their job.
So, number 2, Dave.
When you're asked to move out of the way in a video because I can see your legs.
Do what now?
This is a thing, Michael. This is a thing.
If I'm sitting, like you're at a desk, let's say at the National, we're in a room together. You're at the desk making a video, and there's like a futon or some little thing off to the side, and you're asked to move your legs because they're in the video. You have way too big of an ego. And how many times, theoretically, would you want to meet Clay Matthews?
Once.
Would you want to have a group of Clay Matthews fans have their own Clay Matthews, like patch auto or something like that, numbered to the true diehard in your own mind or whatever bizarre world you live in, numbered to that, made by, I think, Brian Gray, before he ducked out of the leaf. So that's the Yeah, that's a no.
Sounds awful.
So yeah, Wade Boggs collector, Johnny Boggs. That.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
And he just left. We went from 11 to 10. He just left.
Yeah, maybe I'll get a rant video about it.
They're mean. They're mean.
No. Speaking facts.
Is.
This is all factual information.
Charlie's freaking out because mom's home. She can hear her outside. Oh, I know she's here, isn't she? Yeah.
So I think
Go get her.
so. I'm going to spoil your thunder to a degree, briefly, and I'm only going to say one thing. I'm going to turn it right over to you, okay? And I think you know where I'm going with this.
Are you gonna burn some cards for me?
So I said that most of these are going to be like the bigger heads, so to speak.
Oh, this guy's got a big head. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, I know.
But it doesn't float.
But
No.
the last one, and yeah, he didn't make my list, even though technically he has one too.
Yeah, he's up there. He's too stoned to have time to know what's going on.
All I'm going to say is my last one I'm going to mention, NBCC. Dave, go ahead and finish that off.
He's an asshole.
Because I knew that's who your number one was.
He's in it for himself. It's like if somebody's filming something, he wants to be in that shot. He wants to be recognized. He never wants. It's again. I hate to go political, but that's going to be somebody that's a politician because he's never to blame about anything. He will again the Brett Richards cards turn it around and the apology to him and then call him an idiot or whatever it was he called him. It's like shut the fuck up. Get on your pulpit and be summoned to the skies above in a UFO and taken far away because you are an idiot. And
bottom line, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
But he wants attention because I don't know if he was an only child or because his baseball career fucking flamed out or he just needs attention. The true definition of an attention whore. Just it's tired. I've done no hate watching of that. The hobby palooza shit. It's all the same fucking like vintage people sitting on each other's laps, and he's gonna be in like 8 fucking different ones. Hey, let's have a showcase show.
I know.
You're not best or what the hell is it called? Price is Right. You just have your own Twitch stream with your own vintage guys 24/7. Stay over there. I mean, and for somebody who will sit there, I had my YouTube channel a long time. You didn't do shit on it. You fucking came 16, 17, when there's a big influx and deflux or whatever you want to call it of like people coming and going. A lot of that time was turbulent waters for YouTube and YouTube users in the sports card. The bubble. So again, when you're sitting there and you're sort of putting yourself again, what you say you don't, you said it to us in person, especially me. You want to be that face of the card community. You want that. You salivate over it. I mean, you have wet dreams over it. It's
like he just kind of did this, looked around. I created this, and I'm gonna start a Hall of Fame.
And again, if you're getting all the attention,
what a cunt!
The Hall of Fame shit was fucking. I mean,
the premise again. We've said this before. The premise was in the right place. It just failed.
You're not the one to deliver it.
That's
Yep.
It
glorified shout out contest is really what it is.
And again,
I've even said that on one of my voting videos.
Yeah, that shout out or whatever, do something like that. But guess what? He collected Josh Hamilton, super collected, and that's very rarely. And I've said it, it's never mentioned because we want to do what, again, all good politicians like to do is scrub the past.
Yep.
So I didn't collect Josh Hamilton. There might be a video or two, but nobody's going back to those early ones. They're going to go back to 2016, 2017, the Hall of Fame shit. And again, just the smugness, the arrogance, the condescending tone. Again, talking down to people like you're important. You're not. Nobody cares about the beast. That's the dumbest shit in the world. I don't care if you made it with your dad, your uncle, your grandpa, a snail you found on the sidewalk. I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter. Everybody, it's you put yourself on a pedestal. I shit and I only had to wipe once.
No, Dave,
Well,
it's I shit and didn't have to wipe. Come on, get it right.
Again, being that full of shit, I mean, you're gonna have to at least wipe once.
And it's an ingenious idea. Don't get me wrong, but
Then you have everybody else like trying to tug on his like ball hairs, and it's like fucking A. Jesus Christ, you're all the same.
to quote Guns N' Roses, vicarious existence is an effing waste of time. So,
Jeff, no offense,
you should have told us that ahead of time.
Yeah.
I hold you hostage.
You never get the invite because, let's face it, you're here too much. You're around us too much.
You're one of us. You're one of us.
One of us. So yeah, and again, that's where I've never cared. You go back and look at a couple of my rant videos that everybody likes to get excited about on the shores of Lake Superior. If I haven't taken it down yet, and I never will, if I'm calling somebody a cancer, there's a reason for it. I don't want attention. And if you defend them, you're dumb.
Treat everybody the same way you want to be treated.
Yep. Again, we can talk in person and all that, but if, again, you go back behind your video camera and start spewing the same bullshit and same your content,
people are gonna call you out.
I don't care.
Well, no, that's my point. Like if that's how things are going to continue, then people are going to continue to call you out until you realize that, okay, maybe I need to take a step back. But
he never will.
We know that that's not going to happen. So
it's like he's got a YouTube mirror, just that YouTube on there, like the number of subscribers, that like the nation's death, the thing at Times Square. He's got that, and he's like the narcissist, Lex Luger. That's all he's doing is looking in that mirror. Like, dude, I don't know who told you it, but you're not special. You're not.
You're just a dude.
And those 4 pizzas. So
I'm going to go talk to my wife and go to bed.
Ask her top 5 happy.
I will get a very dumb, confused look.
There's probably that guy that came from Minnesota. That's going to be one of them.
Okay, gents.
All right, have a good one, Michael.
Yep, you guys too. I'll see you next week.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Later, Michael.
Later. Wrap us up, Dave.
So, for Michael, who's on here, all of us, thank you for watching, commenting, commiserating, all that fun stuff. Sticking with us if you did. more power to you. Tell you that. Next
Tell
week,
it like it is. We'll tell it like it is.
Yeah, if anybody ever wants to have us on anything to debate, we'll be glad to cross over the border. It's fine. We will. People don't like us again. You got a pen? I'll get you some paper. I'm not Chris Jericho, but you can make the list. So, Tuesday next week. That will. Naomi said if that ever happens again, she's quitting softball.
That good, huh?
So, but for Michael, for Vincenzo, for Steve, I'm Dave. This has been the RFP. Remember, collecting cards, a wonderful hobby. But being a true, genuine friend and building friendships that you make along the way, that's what actually matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.